Hi guys, this is Jerry back with that Theatrically Jerry. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to replace the glass gobos in VShow's S712 Kuan. So this is their 450 watt fixture. We're going to go over how to replace them. They're pretty straightforward in replacing. They're slot and lock gobos. The first thing you're obviously going to do is remove some screws. So you're going to want your handy dandy screwdriver, and there are 4 screws here. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. You're going to unscrew them, and once they're unscrewed, you can go ahead and take the body off. So this is a piece of the chassis or the body of the light fixture. It pulls right off. You go ahead and set that aside, and then you're going to see a lot of components here. Now, one thing that's important if you're going to replace the glass gobos, make sure that the fixture is in reverse. So you want the back panel where the power is and the power con and the DMX, you want that facing you. You don't want the screen side facing you. The screen side doesn't have access to the slot and lock gobos. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the slot and lock system and how to remove a gobo. So this is a much better close-up of the slot and lock system. The slot and lock system is right here on this gobo wheel. This gobo wheel contains all of your glass gobos. So you need to choose the gobo you want to remove. In this case, I want to remove the one that looks like a glass window. You will notice that there are gears down here. Those are to rotate the gobos. Now, in order to get these out, you do need a screwdriver, a little tiny flathead screwdriver. That's the first thing you're going to want, and you're also going to want a little pair of needle nose pliers. The needle nose pliers is to pull it out because there's not a whole lot of room to move. So in order to get this to work, you can just go ahead and kind of stabilize the wheel, and you're going to take your flathead and get it underneath the gobo. You'll actually see a little gap. Sometimes it's easy to kind of pull down with your finger first. So kind of push down with your finger until you get enough room like that. So see the room? You're going to want to keep that down, and then while it's down, you can take your needle nose pliers in here and go ahead and grab it, and then you're just going to pull it straight out. So as you can see, I've pulled the gobo straight out of the slot and lock system. The slot and lock system is great because it's easy to pull these out, and it's also easy to put them back in. I'm going to now show you guys how to remove the glass gobo that you want to replace and to put in your new gobo. It's a pretty straightforward process, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. Now that I have the slot and lock gobo out, you're going to want to put it on a soft surface, so get a microfiber towel because you don't want to scratch the glass gobo. And as you can see on this gear side here, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up so you can see it a lot better. There's a little metal spring retainer. You're going to pop that out, and it's going to release this gobo. One thing to remember is, however the orientation of the gobo is, how you want it, you got to make sure you match it up with that little silver circle here. So the factory wanted it this way, so they put it up facing the little metal cutout that they put in there. So make sure, however you want your gobo oriented, that it's facing the metal dot here. And gobos have two different sides to them. One is this side here, and it's just black. They're usually just black. And then they also have a side here that looks like a mirror. Now, the mirror side needs to be facing the light. So wherever your light source is, the mirror side needs to be facing that. So make sure the mirror side is facing the light, and the black side is not facing the light. So this black side is actually going to be pointing upwards towards your lens. So make sure that you have the mirror side facing the gear here. So there's a gear here. There's no gear on this side. There's a gear here. Make sure the mirror side, where the spring is, make sure the mirror side's on that. So where this spring is, you can see it right there. You want the mirror side of your gobo. There is a little spring that runs on the inside of this, and you're going to take your flathead screwdriver and pry it off. It might take a few tries, but it'll pop out. It's basically under tension, so there we go. Now just pull the spring out. Here's your spring. Set that aside. That's what it's going to look like when the spring's out of it. Now to get your glass gobo out, you can just simply flip it over. And it'll fall out along with this ring, and this ring sits between the spring and the glass gobo, and all it's doing is holding down the glass gobo and keeping the spring from touching it, of course. The little retention ring, I'm going to call this, is silver on one side and black on the other. Pay attention to that. The silver part is going to go with the metallic part of the glass gobo, or wherever the light source is coming from. So if the light is shining this way, you're going to want the silver facing that way. The black always faces away from the light source. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and we're going to get our replacement glass gobo. In this case, it's a completely different design. We're going to take it out, and we're going to put it in, and you're just going to reverse exactly what you did to get it in there. Make sure the shiny glass side of your gobo is facing this way, where your gears are. and if your gobo is mirror on one side and black on the other, you're going to want the mirror facing upwards where this gear is, and then underneath is going to be the black, because this sits with the gears facing downwards towards the LED light source. So whenever there's an LED light source, you're always going to want the shiny mirror side towards the LED light source. I was able to order some replacement gobos. These are from one of the suppliers that supplies me with V-Show products. His name is V-Show Jack. He has a catalog of gobos that you can order from, and he will ship them to you. It doesn't take too long to get to the US from where he is. So if you are interested in getting different designs like I was, you can go ahead and contact V-Show Jack, and he will hook you up with some gobos. Of course, you do have to pay for them, but they're worth it. You can kind of see what I bought. There's a really cool like spiral galaxy. I got 3 gobos, and they also came with the retention ring, like I said. So you are getting the gobos and the retention ring for your slot and lock system. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the gobo that I want to put in this and reinstall it for you guys. So let's go ahead and do that. I have the new glass gobo in the way that I want it, orientation wise, with the top of the gobo matching up with the little metal indent that they have provided you. I also put the retaining ring back in. Now the retaining ring, one side's black, one side is silver. You want the silver side up, so the silver side's going to be facing your gears. So these gears, you want the silver side up, the black will be underneath. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and get your retaining spring back, or retention spring, however you want to say it. And you're going to shove the entire spring back in here, which is either going to be easy or hard, but usually it's easy. So it is now back in, and now I have my gobo exactly the way I want it, facing upwards towards this dot. Now it's ready to install back into the light fixture. It's a little hard to see, but there is my empty slot that I'm going to put my slot and lock gobo back into. Now make sure that the gears are facing downwards, so towards the bottom of your light fixture. And to put it back in, you're just going to push it into its lock, and you'll actually kind of feel it go under the little clip that's included. However, it also needs to go upward, so make sure that it's fully seated, and you're going to hear it clip upwards. So now it's actually clipped upwards. There shouldn't be a gap if this is seated appropriately. And go ahead and spin it around and make sure that everything is aligned correctly. And there we have it. I have my new gobo glass pattern installed. This one in particular is a bunch of skyscrapers. I thought it was a interesting look. I'm gonna go ahead and spin it around for you guys. You're going to, of course, replace the cover on the light fixture, and then go ahead and turn it on and make sure it is seated correctly in there. Make sure the image is bright and crisp and that you can actually see it. If you are having a problem with it, it could be that you have installed the gobo the wrong way. There's two different sides to a gobo, so if it's looking weird, try flipping the gobo over and reinstalling it and see if that fixes your problem. Thank you guys for watching this quick video on how to replace a glass gobo. In this case, it's for a VShow S712 Kuon, a 450 watt LED beam spot wash CMY system. A lot of these new moving head fixtures have the same slot and lock system, so odds are if you have purchased a newer moving head fixture with glass rotating gobos, they're also going to have a slot and lock system, so this video will also work for you. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you also enjoyed this video, follow my channel at Theatrically Jerry. I do a lot of tutorials like this, as well as in-depth reviews on stage lighting and DJ lighting equipment and atmospherics. I do read and respond to all comments. So if you do have a question, go ahead and ask it. Thank you guys for watching.